everybody, and welcome to shon.vibes. We are taking a look today at how you can get paid what you are worth. If you happen to be new here, my name is Shon, and I'm very, very honored that you are joining us. So we're getting our messages today from a very special goddess from the Egyptian tradition. Her name is Maat. She is the goddess of cosmic order, justice, balance, truth, fairness, and all of those things are super just not important, not just important, I should say, not just important for you getting paid what you deserve, but they are the result of you getting paid what you deserve. It's kind of like a which came first, the chicken and the egg thing, right? Anyway, so because I'm so excited to bring you these messages, we are doing 4 piles today. Yes, we are. I have put together for you a combination that is a little bit different than what I normally do, but there are still crystals involved and a quote and flowers. And when you take a look at these 4 piles, you are going to find the one that you are most attracted to, and then scroll down to the description box of this video where you will find the timestamp taking you directly to your reading. I know you guys are going to enjoy this. Oh, and I'm getting that for some of you, there are 2 piles in this particular video for you today. I cannot wait to give you these messages. After these messages, we'll be right back. Listen, if you grew up in the 80s, you know what I just did. If not, you're like, what is this weirdo doing? Y'all, this is just how I roll. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so these are your piles. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Take a second, take a look, see which of these piles is calling to you today. And once you've made your selection, go down to the description box, find your timestamp there, and I will see you at your reading. Hey there, group 1, and welcome to your reading. Today we are doing a reading connecting to the Goddess Maat to get her messages, her guidance specifically on how you can get paid what you're worth. For those of you who are not familiar with the Goddess Maat, and I am not Egyptian, so I hope I am saying her name correctly. I am saying it as I have heard it said and as I have read it. She is the goddess of cosmic organization, which includes justice, balance, fairness, truth. And these are some of the qualities or characteristics or values that can oftentimes be missing in our work environments or work situations, particularly when we're looking at not getting paid fairly. So I strongly suspect that the message that we're going to get today has to deal with rebalancing the energy around one of these qualities to get you the moolah that you deserve. So let us get started. What we're going to do is we are going to use my Universal Weight Tarot to look at the current situation, the obstacle, and the advice for getting you fairly paid. Goddess Maat, what guidances do you have for group 1 around how they are getting paid, how they are getting paid, and what is necessary to make it more aligned with their value? All right, we have the Magician. Okay, so that is our current situation. We have the 9 of Wands, which represents our obstacle, and we have the 4 of Cups, which gives us our advice. So group one, what it looks like here is that you are actually somebody who is quite capable. You have a multitude of talents. You might be that person who actually has your own business. You might be an entrepreneur, or you work in a field or in a way in whatever field you're in where you are able to utilize many different skills, many different aptitudes, many different forms of intelligence than just any particular one. And what this means is that generally speaking, you are highly attractive to, if you're someone who is an employee as opposed to self-employed, you are highly attractive to people during the interview process, in the hiring process. They look at you and they see so much potential, so much is possible. And whether they're conscious of it or not, there is a part of them that thinks, I can use this person. Okay, one of the things that is tricky about being so capable, being so talented, being so smart is you are a magnet for people who aren't as gifted, shall we say. And some of them nefariously might be thinking and act on the energy of, I'm going to use this person. And others might just do it not intentionally, but because of the fact that they have needs that you can meet and they don't have the ability to meet those needs themselves. And in a work environment, what this can oftentimes mean, and I feel is happening here with you, is you are doing the most. You are doing probably everybody's job. For some of you, not all of you, of course, depending on your level of your ability to set boundaries or create balance to things, which are ways of keeping life more organized. If you're somebody who's really, really great at setting boundaries or maintaining balance in your work environment or your work-life balance in particular, this part may not pertain to you as much. But if you're somebody who struggles in that way at all, you may be doing the most, and oftentimes find yourself doing other people's part of the work as well because you know how to do it. Sometimes this can sneak up on you in a work environment where someone asks for help about something, or you see somebody is struggling with something, and so you step in to share your knowledge or to do the task for them, and the next thing you know, they are constantly relying on you to do it, and they are no longer taking care of that which is their own responsibility. An obstacle for you is I'm getting something that is very much situated in a different work environment that you've been in prior to this one where you absolutely had to do all of the things. So again, this might extremely resonate for you if you are someone who identifies as an entrepreneur or has some sort of a business of your own, and you're remembering the beginning of when you started that business and everything did fall on you. There wasn't a staff to delegate to, or you didn't have money to outsource certain responsibilities or tasks to somebody else. And it literally all fell on your shoulders. And you were possibly also working a full-time job at the same time as trying to start your own business, right? So it was a tough time. And it may not have felt consciously like a tough time at the time because you were so excited to be starting this new endeavor. But with that, juggling of multiple sets of responsibilities between the full-time or possibly even part-time job you had working for somebody else and starting up your own endeavor, there was just way too much to do, and it did take a toll on you. It did require you to do a lot. And all startups, all new businesses, the founder or owner of that business is doing all of the things. And if you're now in a situation, whether it's because you have grown the business and can delegate, or it's just more profitable than it used to be, whatever the thing is, you're still used to thinking the way things were in the beginning, and you're not letting yourself let go of tasks that you probably don't need to do, or things that you probably don't need to oversee anymore. You may not have even allowed yourself to hire staff or to delegate to others, or you could be someone who has hired staff or is delegating but still not quite letting go. If you don't identify as entrepreneur and you're somebody who is an employee for someone else, you may be having the memory of a time where you were in a very, very dysfunctional work environment where even the leadership was not, they just weren't available in some way. I'm getting very much that the leadership was absent in some way. And so what you probably did, because of the fact that you are so capable and so talented, is you probably stepped up and took on some of the responsibilities of the absentee leadership. This could even extend beyond just work environments. For some of you, it could be that that was your experience in your home environment. So if you grew up in a home where there was not a lot of good leadership from the parents or guardians, then you may have become someone who took over, who became the disciplinarian of the younger children, or was the one cooking the meals, or the one checking someone else's homework, or even just not even if you had siblings, but doing all of that for yourself. And so you were functioning as both the child and the adult in that situation. So whatever it is that's in your history, group one, that made you feel as though you had to do all of the things, you still have such a strong memory to that it is affecting your work situation now, your earning situation now. And it's not even just that you have the memory of it, but it's still in your body. Okay. There may be a little bit of a PTSD factor here, because during those times, it was very stressful for you, but you may not have had the ability to recognize it as stress, whether it's because, again, in the example of those of you who are entrepreneurs or business owners of some sort, you were excited about the endeavor itself. So you didn't quite process the stress it was causing you. Or in the example for those of you who were children who had to take on the responsibilities of the adults in the family, you're a child and you absolutely didn't have a way of verbalizing, hey, this ain't mine, this is yours. Speaking of, I do have a video here on the channel called, I can't remember what the title of the video actually is, but there's a thumbnail. The thumbnail, of course, there's a thumbnail, but the thumbnail of it says, "That ain't yours." You might want to check that out if you're one of the people here in group one that feels connected to the message of, taking on responsibilities that actually were supposed to be somebody else's. Okay. And then if you're one of the people that identifies with the idea of it having been, an old work environment that you used to be in where the leadership was missing, either because the person who was in charge really didn't deserve that position and so they weren't qualified for it, or because they were in charge, they were constantly absent because they would go and take like 2-hour lunch breaks or go and, have a little afternoon delight with their paramour, shall we call them, or whatever the thing was. And so you would step in and fill in their role. There can be some PTSD around that for sure, because of the fact that not only do you have the stress of not having the leadership that should have been there for you, but in taking on what was theirs, you now have the added stress of what if they don't like what you do, or what if their superiors don't like what you do, or what if their superiors find out you're doing that other person's job, and then there's some kind of a blowback on you, or some retaliation from that absentee supervisor. Now, as far as your advice on how to handle this going forward, group one, and making sure you get paid what you're worth, the first thing that I absolutely have to say to you is you have to right size the amount of effort you're putting out versus what is promised to you coming back. Be very careful of having an idea of, if I do these things, it will be appreciated and I will get the money later. That's not a guarantee. And particularly in environments where it does feel so off kilter, when you are doing way more than is yours to do, okay? So see if you can be mindful of allowing yourself to only do that much work as you feel comfortable doing, giving what you're paid. So that's not to say that you should be like, well, look, I only make $15 an hour, so I'm only doing $15 an hour worth of work. Not so much that, because you might have the ambition of getting promoted to the job that pays $17 an hour, right? So if that's a goal of yours, then let yourself do the $15 an hour worth of work, and then a little bit more as you feel comfortable, to help you be seen as someone who is worthy of promotion. But what you're not going to do anymore, group number one, sorry, I don't really like to call you guys piles. What you really don't want to do, group number one, is $30 an hour worth of work while being paid $15 an hour, whether it's because you've got the skills or someone is missing or whatever the thing is, or you're still carrying that energy inside of you from something in your past. Whatever the reason is, don't over give. Don't do too much. And also, listen, I'm getting to tell somebody out there, stop feeling like you need to prove yourself. There's an imposter syndrome factor here that is making you feel as though you have to show them you are worthy of the position you have. And what it's making you do is more than just that which is yours to do based on the position you have. You are doing more than you need to, more than anyone is looking for you to do, and more than you deep down inside feel comfortable with, just because you're afraid of them thinking that you are not worthy or thinking that you aren't valuable. There's a part of you that doesn't even feel, for the person or persons, it's not the whole group, okay? For the person or persons that this part of the message is for, there's a party that doesn't even feel like you're worth the hourly rate that you are getting, let alone getting more. Okay. Now, the next piece of you guys getting paid what you are worth is about the feeling of dissatisfaction that is coming from the work that you are doing. When that energy is in us, we never get what we deserve. Okay. And we always deserve what we're worth. There is a resistance energy there that keeps more from coming to us. So because we are so dissatisfied, so unhappy, probably feeling put upon, feeling as though life or the situation is unfair, when new opportunities for earning more come to you or in your sphere, you may not even notice it because you're so focused on how you're not being treated well. All right. So do the part that you can control. You can't control what anybody that you work with or work for is doing, but you can control, sometimes with a lot of work, because especially in situations where there's been PTSD, we have a programming that's functioning inside of us that we may not be conscious of. Okay, so start to become conscious of what your motivations are for doing what you do. And then with that awareness, giving some love and compassion to that part of yourself that felt the need to overdo, let her or him know that they are off the hook. And here's the truth, and this is a hard truth for many of us to realize. The more you value and appreciate yourself, group one, the more the people around you will see that they have to value and appreciate you. And the money that you will earn will connect to that, will reflect that. Now, notice I did not say the more you value yourself, the more others will value you. No, you cannot control how other people see you. You cannot control how other people value you. But what you will show them and how you treat yourself, what you do or don't allow yourself to do, is they will learn from you what you expect from them. And so they will act accordingly, whether they actually value you or not. They will know they have to function in a way that seems as though they do. Okay? Now, speaking of abundance, I do have a brand new set of offerings in the Etsy shop and on shon.vibes.com that are connect to your abundance guided meditations. The meditation itself is a series of statements, mindset shifts, affirmations, of course, that I have written. They're all unique. They're all original. And though that might be redundant. You can be original without being unique, but you can't be unique without being original. So yes, they are all unique, full stop. And different ones have different background music. You can choose between lo-fi music, classical music, which is a nice allegro chamber music, and spirit drum music, which is like, so like earthy, like you feel it inside of you. I love that spirit drum one the most, I think. And then there's also an option where it's ocean waves underneath the meditation. Also, the meditations include theta waves, which are designed to help you be able to be receptive to new thought patterns, new ideas to help you shift and change your life for the better. And in this case, particularly around your connection to abundance. please feel free to check it out. Details are in the description box below. Okay, you guys, this is what I have for you today, Group 1. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your reading. I am very much looking forward to bringing you today's messages. They are messages from the Goddess Maat about how you can get paid what you are worth, how you can receive the value that you bring to your endeavors. We are primarily looking at money, okay? So how you can receive more money for the work that you do, or that is in line with the amount or type quality of work that you do. However, because Maat is the goddess of cosmic order, justice, balance, fairness, and truth, we might receive some other messages from her around you getting what you're worth, getting what you deserve, receiving your abundance in other ways in addition to the money. But I do promise you this, we will be getting messages around your earnings today. So without any further ado, let us get started. I have here the Universal Weight deck. It is the deck that we will be using to receive your messages from this beautiful, magnificent queen or goddess. I said queen, but in my head, they are often the same thing. Goddesses are queens and queens are goddesses. Can I say that twice? All right, here we go. Goddess Maat. What messages do you have for Group 2 today that will help them be able to consistently get paid what they deserve? Please bless us with your guidance here today. Okay, we have, the Hermit. This Hermit card represents our current situation. Okay, Group 2. Next, we're going to be looking at the Obstacle. The Empress card. Look how much Major Arcana energy you have so far. So, actually, you know what? I was going to say something, but I'm going to wait until we get our next card and see if it's still applicable. Let's go ahead and pull your third card. The third card is the advice around the current situation and or the obstacle. Thank you. The Queen of Wands. Did I not just say the word queen? Y'all. Ooh. So 100% step into your queenly energy. Okay? Step into your queenly energy. The word Empress also means queen. So there is so much dominant female energy that is part of this reading. And so, there are many ways that feminine power can be talked about, many ways that the divine feminine is talked about. And a lot of times when we hear people discussing what it means to be a strong female or a powerful female, there's this notion that in order to be a powerful female or a strong female, you have to actually inhabit masculine traits in your in your life, in your activities, like function like men would, but you just happen to be female. And I am here to tell you that is not the case. In fact, everything about my channel strives to let you know that that is not the case, that there is power in the feminine aspects of being female, right? Which means there are feminine energies, feminine characteristics, feminine behaviors that even men might inhabit and could still, I'm saying inhabit, but I feel right there, I don't actually mean that word. I feel like right there, I actually mean exhibit, and still prove to be powerful in whatever scenario, environment, or endeavor they are undertaking. Let me give you a great example. So in Taoism, there is this concept of Wu Wei. And Wu Wei is doing without doing. Another teaching that has that same kind of concept is the idea of letting go. For some people, they will say let go and let God. Others will talk about effort and surrender. You'll hear people talk about doing their part. In Taoism, again, going back to Taoism, they will talk about yielding. Yielding. How many times have you had a situation in your life that you were going head to head with somebody or trying to accomplish something? Like, and let's go to the example of going head to head with somebody, right? So you guys are bickering, you're fighting, da 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 da, and then you just go, you know what? Okay, and you walk away and you just let it go. And then a few minutes later, a few hours later, a few days, a few months later, whenever this person comes back and says, you know what? You were right. But see, there was something in you pushing back, which is yang energy, which is male energy, or masculine energy, which is force energy, effort energy, that made that other person resist. But when you yielded, when you let go, when you use the feminine energy of non-resistance, that's when you actually won the argument. Same thing with trying to achieve something sometimes, or trying to figure something out, putting so much effort into it, whether it's physical effort or mental effort. And it's when we just wash our hands of it, leave it be, the answer comes. The solution presents itself, or it works out even without us doing anything more. And so what I'm getting for you, group 2, with you having this Empress here, Empress is a queen. Some cultures will call it Empress, other cultures will say queen. You also have the Queen of Wands, but you also have this Hermit. And what I'm getting for you is definitely leaning more into, literally leaning, right? Leaning more into your feminine energy, which you've probably already picked up on by now, is a great way for you to start getting paid what you're worth. There are aspects of you that are, or behaviors that are available for you to start using that you aren't using yet, that will prove to be more beneficial for you in your working environments than you realize. Let me say that better. You may feel in your working environment that you have to be super active, that you have to step up all the time, that you have to be the one that has the answer first, or has the last word, or doesn't want to look like you don't know something. There may be a belief in your mind that if you are silent, you are perceived as unprepared or unintelligent. So that's this energy here of Empress being the obstacle. Your mindset of what it means to be feminine, your mindset of what it means to be in a non-active energy, in a yin energy. I'm saying yin as in yin and yang. And what I'm getting for you, group 2, is to let go of those thoughts when it comes to work. Listen, you may be very good at slipping into that divine feminine energy in your personal life or in your private time. But when it comes to your work environment, you feel like you have to show up like the boss. You have to be a boss to excel. And what I'm getting is no. You actually have other skills that you are very good at that we associate with the feminine. And that would be your listening skills. Your listening skills are very, very strong. That is the asset that you can bring to a work environment that will make people really realize your value. So this could be serving in the capacity of consigliere. That's a fun word to say, but a hard word to say. So counselor or advisor to people that you work with, including a supervisor or someone who is a client of yours if you own your own business. It could be being the one that really is observant of and noticing what is happening with the other coworkers, listening to what it is they have to say, and then distilling it down to a message that can be received and understood by, again, the decision makers, clients, supervisors. And when they see this ability that you have to wrap it all up in a nice package, to bring it all together, you are going to actually look like the one that came up with the ideas. I know it might feel counterintuitive, but you're going to look like the one that manifested the new solution. You're going to look like the one that has this creative power. And in a way, you do. So don't worry about it looking like you're stealing anybody else's ideas. You're not. What you are very, very good at, group 2, is seeing what works and what doesn't work in situations and being able to piece together the things that work best and present an overall solution or idea or ideal that can be implemented in a functional way and prove to be profitable in the work environment. I hope that makes sense to you. So I'm definitely getting for you, let go of your idea of what, there's something there around what it means to be a female in the workplace that is holding you back. Okay, so this could be a mindset around, women have to do twice as much work to get half as much as a man. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm saying don't let it create a block for you. Don't use it as a crutch, because subconsciously it may make you do some self-sabotaging behaviors. Because if you identify as female, there's really nothing you can do about that. So instead of looking at it as a liability, see it as the asset that it is. Because when other people perceive you, they are perceiving you as a female, even if you exhibit a ton of masculine behaviors or try to tap into masculine energy in order to get ahead, in order to be taken seriously. I'm getting also to allow yourself to be open and vocal about your needs. Again, something here around your mindset about women in the workplace, or how you think women are perceived in a workplace, keeps you from being vocal about what you need to get certain aspects of the job done. And in that situation, in those kinds of situations, yes, you are being encouraged to, it'll seem like stepping into the active position, but where the resistance is in feeling as though you don't want to come off like a burden. You don't want to seem like a bother. You don't want to seem needy. And there's something around, you may work in a male dominant environment. You may be one of very few women working either in your industry, in your the location in the city where you live and are working, or in your office specifically. And so in an attempt not to come off as needy, you're not being vocal enough about what you need to either get the job done, or even what you need to feel comfortable about working in the capacity that you work. I'm getting that some of you are overdue for a raise, and it's time for you to ask for it without worrying about the fact that it makes you look needy, makes you look weak, makes you look ungrateful. And I'm getting to tell you, ask, not demand. Something about your work environment, group 2, they really value more the feminine as feminine. And again, you may not even be female identifying, and this might still be true for you. That there's something about that environment. Listen, if you work in education, for instance, or in I used to work in these enrichment programs, it was arts education. And I also used to work in dance studios as a dance teacher. And these are primarily female cultures. So it could actually be, for some of you, group 2, the opposite of what I said. I said you might work in an environment where there is mostly men. Some of you may actually be working in an environment where it's predominantly women. And again, this idea of what you think you need to do to get what you need, how you think you need to function in the workplace by exhibiting masculine behaviors or trying to come off as powerful, might be a turnoff to the people that you're working with. And by relying more on or leaning more into a softer side of yourself, which is their group 2. I'm getting that someone is going, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. All of us have it in us. and you choose when and how to tap into it. Whatever it is that makes you think that you can't be feminine without being weak, you have to heal that. Because seeing the feminine as weak is keeping you from being able to utilize the aspects of yourself and the aspects that are just inherently part of feminine energy that we all have access to. And they will benefit you in this workplace, and they will get you more of what you want, including more money. So it's a asking for the promotion or asking for the raise, not a demanding of it. Not coming from a place of, I don't get what I deserve, or I have to do more than anybody else. Or why is this even on me? Why do I even have to ask? They should just know and give it to me. You have got to blend both sides of you, but bringing in more of the feminine than you have before. When I say blend both sides of you, both your masculine and your feminine, because, if we're honest, this Queen of Wands, she's kind of a masculine looking female. But, that's the truth with the Rider-Waite deck, period, right? Or the Waite-Smith. I prefer to call it the Waite-Smith deck. I don't like people leaving Pamela Coleman-Smith out of when they talk about this deck, because, we rely on her images, and she was a black woman, and me being a black woman, I'm just like, don't be leaving her out. Don't do that. No. So the Waite-Smith deck. Most of the feminine have a masculine feel to their face, almost a androgyny, right? But with this Queen of Wands, if you look at her compared to this Empress, you can really see the difference there. They've softened up the Empress's features. And in this coloring of it, because it's the universal weight, she's even got on lipstick. But this Queen of Wands is more that blend of the masculine and the feminine. So find that balance, but bring more of your feminine qualities, or more of what is known universally to be energetically feminine. Not based on stereotypes around female or societal dictates about being feminine, but what we actually, when talking about universal law, when talking about the energies of the universe, refer to as feminine energies, okay? So again, this gift you have for listening, use it more in your workplace, and asking for what you need more so than demanding what you need. Do that more in the workplace, and it is time to ask for that raise. That is going to help you get paid more of what you're worth. I'm getting for you too that there's going to be, as you start using this listening skill that you have more and speaking back to people that which they have said to you. So it's the difference between group two. It's the difference from, let me give you two examples, okay? There's someone says something and you immediately come back with a rejoinder. Let me say a better word for you. Somebody says something and you immediately come back with a rebuttal. I'm sure I can do better than that. Let me try it again. Somebody says something and you immediately come back with an opposing opinion, or a better idea, or an improvement on the idea that they just gave. But instead, the guidance here for you, group two, so you can start to be seen as more of an asset in your particular workplace, is someone says something and you repeat back to them what they said, because they will then feel, group two, that you have heard them, and you will be perceived as a good listener. And then you can add to that your contribution. But there's something about you. Some of you may be water signs. So in operating as though you're fire when you're really water, there is an energetic disconnect there, and it's possibly rubbing people the wrong way in the workplace. Okay? Let that softer side of you, that water energy that is inside of you, or that you just have access to, let that lead the way more in your work environment. This Hermit is here in the current situation position for this reading. And, I spoke earlier about how some of you may be the only or one of few, like it's a male predominant environment that you work in, or industry that you work in, or masculine energy predominant and you are feminine. And so then you feel like you have to, do like they do to get ahead. So there's this feeling of aloneness or loneliness in your workplace. That example may be the reason why. It could just be something that you're carrying on inside of you, where you feel different from those around you. And in leaning into this guidance of listening more and repeating back to people what you've heard, or being available to, being willing to be available to be an ear for those who need to hear it, it is going to make them feel endeared to you. Because they feel heard by you, they'll see you as a friend, they'll see you as an ally, and you won't feel so alone. You won't feel so separate. You will feel and literally be a very functional and necessary part of the team or the partnership. Let this aspect of you that you may be aware of and be pushing down, or may not be aware of, come out, because we all have access to that feminine energy side of ourselves. And you'll feel less like your work environment is an unfair place where you are being treated differently. You may be treated uniquely, but then you'll start to notice that everybody is. That if this is a functional work environment, everyone is being treated based on what they are showing in that work environment, what they are showing of themselves. And as you add value to this group that you are working with, or these customers, clients that you are working with, if you're somebody who has your own business, you may have been finding that people come to you for your services, but then they don't return. Switching this will help with that. Okay, switching this energy from feeling as though you have to have all the answers and have to be in charge, to being someone who is supportive, who understands, who listens to and understands, reflects back to your client their experience. The client always needs to feel as though you are on their side, that you are there for them. It's not about, oh, I have this business and this is how I do it and this is what I know because of my expertise. It's okay, client, what is it you need? How can I serve you? How do I make you feel heard? How do I help you through this fear that you have about getting something done, or this confusion you have about something that you need to, work out or have happen, or provide you with this item to meet a need that you have, or a gift that you're going to give to somebody, or whatever it is. That's how I approach my Etsy business. I say Etsy business, but also, when you order on shon.vibes, you get the same level of service from me. It's how can I reflect back to you your experience and help you through it to get you where you want to go. Okay, group 2? You do that and you will prove to be invaluable to the people that you work with and work for. I can promise you that. And they will pay you accordingly. They will pay you more because they so highly value what it is you not just bring to them, but what you make them feel. You have the ability to make them feel a certain type of way, group 2. And what I'm getting is some of you have inadvertently been, because you're unaware of this power that you have to affect people's feelings, instead of making them feel good, there are times when you're making them feel not so great. And a little bit of a shifting. And you're going to see a huge difference there. Okay? Including referrals, including promotions, including raises, all of the things. Yeah. Getting paid what you deserve. What you're worth. Stop doubting your worth. That's a big part of it. Stop doubting it. Stop doubting it. Stop doubting it. And let the real you come out, okay? And a tool that I have in my shops that can help you feel connected to a state of abundance. I have these new guided meditation audios that I'm offering on Etsy as well as on shon.vibes. And they are uniquely written affirmations set up as a meditation for you, with your choice of either lo-fi music, classical music, spirit drum music, which is like shamanic drums. In fact, the composer calls it shamanic drums, but I don't label it as that because I don't know if it literally is shamanic drums, and I don't want to be accused of cultural appropriation. So we're calling it spirit drums for our purposes in my world. And ocean waves. And then each of these audios also has theta waves laid underneath the background music and the meditation in order to help you better absorb and start reprogramming your mind for these messages of abundance so that you can live out a new version of your life in a more abundant way. And it does include financial abundance. And Empress she is abundance, isn't she? Okay, group 2. So if you are interested in that, you know where to find them, shon.com/tarot or notsoaveragedreamer.etsy.com. This is what I have for you today, group 2. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I will see you in my next one. Bye. Hey there, group 3, and welcome to your reading. Today we are getting messages from the goddess Maat. She is an Egyptian goddess on how you can start getting paid your worth. This will be applicable for you whether you are working for somebody else or you are self-employed. Maat is the goddess of justice, balance, fairness, cosmic organization. She is the reason why we don't have chaos in the Egyptian tradition, why we don't have chaos in the universe, but instead have nice universal order. So we're going to jump right in and find out what guidances she has for you on starting to get paid what you actually deserve. Now, for some of you, you may have already been feeling as though you get paid what you deserve, but felt called to come to this reading anyway. So this is going to help you figure out how to get paid even more if that happens to be your situation. But primarily our intention here is to look into things for people who feel like they should be getting paid more than they are. All right, Goddess Maat, what guidances do you have for group 3? All right, we have Temperance. Look at that. Temperance is the balance card. I mean, among many things, but most often you'll hear people talk about temperance meaning balance. The word itself in the English language means balance. And here we have balance. Balance, justice, fairness. So I would say that is definitely... And perhaps that's why I felt called to say what I said about those of you who already feel as though you're getting paid what you're worth. Because this is our current situation position in the spread that I'm using today. And I haven't made that mention in any of the other groups. So for you guys, it is a lot of you who came to this group today actually do feel as though you are already there's a good balance already between the work you're doing and how much you're being paid. However, you're getting guidance today about how you can get paid even more. So let's see what's coming up next. Oh, 3 of Cups. This is our obstacle position. And group 3, are you negating to go to the office happy hours or stepping away from your desk when it's time to do that obligatory birthday cake in the break room? There's something here about the obstacle being your connectedness to the other people that you work with, you feeling comfortable or willing to socialize with them, or rather not feeling comfortable or willing to socialize with them. Grabbing one more card. The next is going to be our advice in this situation for you guys. Ooh. I did not see that coming. The 5 of Pentacles. Okay, y'all, this is a tough love reading. This is a tough love. Yep. And in the back of the deck, at the back of the deck, which again, I did not feel compelled to show back of the deck energy on the other 2 groups that I've already recorded. But just now, here it is. You got the 4 of Cups. Okay. Group 3, you guys are doing well with what you're getting paid in relation to the type of work you're doing and the quality of work you're doing. For the majority of you who chose this group, if this does not sound like you, then this is not your group today, because this message here is very clearly for people who are already in a nice balance between the work they're doing and the amount they're getting paid, but do have a desire to receive more income. If that is not you, please feel free to check out one of the other readings here in this video today, or one of the other many goddess guidance readings that are on my channel. For those of you who are sticking around for this message, here's what we have. Not being connected to the group, not being It's either that you don't feel like you fit in with them, or something about how you are functioning is keeping you from being seen by them as one of them. You might be new to the particular office where you're working, or the particular location, the particular group of people. Maybe you're new to a supervisor that is in your group that you're working with. For some of you, it could even be that you are the supervisor, and you're deliberately keeping this very strong separation between yourself and your employees because of a concern that in seeming like you're one of the group, putting yourself on their level in any way, even socially, could undermine your authority at work. That is going to be for a select few people. For the majority of people, you aren't the business owner. You are working for and with other people, as opposed to having other people who work for you. Unless you're in a supervisory position in that work environment. But yeah, they are bonding and doing things together that aren't specifically about whatever project you're working on at the time, or whatever tasks or needs are required for the job. They're able to talk about things that are not related to the work, that help them feel more trust with one another, because there is a similarity of interests, possibly, or just having had the experience of spending time together in a non-work related way. This can, in some work environments, this can look like people talking about the same television show that they all happen to watch, but you just don't happen to watch that show. In some environments, it is the, questionably, sometimes it's questionable whether or not it's good for people to like hang out together outside of work and become friend groups. And there might be some, dating within that peer group. And you're just not a part of that. Other ways that this could be showing itself is possibly in a difference in your backgrounds. This could be your social background. It could be your cultural background as an ethnic background. It could actually even be specifically your educational background, that while you all are working in the same type of arena or the same department, maybe, that your educational background or your training for it is somewhat different than theirs, and it makes you keep yourself isolated. There's something here that is causing a separation between how you see yourself in relation to others, and very much I'm getting the not fit in energy. The advice for you is to think about the fact that it is keeping you from earning more, to actually focus on the fact. Typically, we like to say, when I say we, I mean people who do the kind of work that I do, or manifestation coaches, or just people who are keyed in, tend to say, don't focus on lack. But right now, the message that's coming through is to think about the fact that lack is part of the experience, because you could have even more if you were truly part of the group, truly part of the team. This is not to say that you need to pretend to be somebody other than who you are. It's simply saying to let yourself connect with these other people in ways that have nothing to do with the work itself. Surely in your family or in your friend group, there are many different personality types, right? Many different interests between you all, and you're not all like the same thing. But there's something about it being a work environment that is making you choose to keep yourself separate from them. I'm definitely getting that it's the energy that I'm feeling is more you keeping yourself separate from them than it is them keeping you out. For some of you listening to this right now, you may be processing it as you are being left out because of possibly an old story you have around fitting into a group. You may be a person who is oftentimes a loner or a lone wolf because of possibly being bullied as a child, or just, not fitting in with the other kids as much. Maybe you moved around at awkward ages. And so, becoming part of the community you were in was harder than necessary. I'm getting definitely something that's stronger than just the moving around, though, something more around the pain or hurt that you have associated with trying to be a part of a group. And so because of that, you may be perceiving these others as not including you, or you might subconsciously be looking for ways to see yourself as different than them so that you don't connect with them. And that lack of being willing to be more friendly. Not that you're unfriendly, you're very professional, which is one of the reasons why you are presently being paid what you're worth. You're very, very professional, but you could just, if you choose to, it is completely up to you, loosen up a bit, lighten up a bit, and know that not allowing yourself to do that is hindering your earning potential. There's this saying that I don't know that I hear it said very much anymore, but I used to hear it all the time. It's not what you know, it's who you know. As much as we want to go around saying I shouldn't have to play politics, that is just the reality of life. Again, it's not that you have to not be yourself, but find a way to bring the wonder of what you are. You know what it really comes down to, group 3? It's rarely really about us being ourselves or not being ourselves. It's usually about us allowing other people to be who and how they are. Oftentimes, when we feel like an outsider, whether consciously or not, there is a judging that we are doing about the other people in order to defend ourselves or protect ourselves, I should say, more so than defend, protect ourselves from the feeling of being left out. We reject before being rejected. And I am feeling strongly that energy here. There are others of you for whom it could be that only, or that and a combination of just feeling that you have to work. You have to focus on work to do well. This could be something that you have just determined for yourself, or it could be, again, a carryover from how you were raised as a child. You may have had a parent that said, you don't need to worry about friends. You need to focus on school. And so you might be a type A personality, and you may be one of those people that so believes that the only way to excel is to do great work. But the truth is, as much as we want it to be, most work environments are not a strict meritocracy. It is typically never just about how well you do. There are other factors in play, which is whether or not people know and like you. So it's not just what you know, it's who you know and who likes what you do, who likes who you are. And that is simply about them feeling comfortable around you, not about you needing to turn yourself inside out to fit in with them or to be appealing to them, or to appease them for that matter. And so, with our 4 of Cups here, you see how he's focusing so hard on one thing, or the 3 things here actually. So that you might be someone who's like kind of overwhelmed at work so much, or sometimes, or you have so much to do with your work. And so it really does take your focus. But even though that's the case, remember, we benefit from breaks. It actually helps us to be more productive in our work when we can take breaks, when we do relax, when we stop the hypervigilant focus on it. So those invitations to do things, notice how he's not like paying attention to what's being offered to him. And what's being offered to you, group 3, when invitations come up, whether they are formal or informal, is an opportunity to advance your earning. It's not just about connecting with the people you work with. The ultimate that would come out of it is advancing your earning. This is not just about getting more money for the work you already do, but being someone that's considered for possible promotions, or who hears the scoop on new opportunities that might be coming up within that work environment, or something that someone heard about in a different company that does what you do the way you guys do it, or something like that. So just let yourself be more open to being a part of the group. I guarantee if you go towards that with the mindset of acceptance for them, because people like to be liked. You don't have to go toward it with any kind of mindset of, I need to make them like me. It's not that. Show them what you like about them. And spending time with them is the first and kind of best way to do it. In my Etsy shop, I have a new set of offerings that are Connect to Your Abundance meditations. If you feel like you need some help with shifting your mindset around abundance, you should definitely check those out. I have the details in the description box below. It is an original script of unique statements that talk about the feelings of abundance as well as the receiving of abundance. And just being able to adjust your mindset around what it means to connect to or be able to get abundance, I really do feel is called for you guys. I really am strongly feeling that for a lot of you, it is what you believe leads to advancement, or what you believe leads to increase in income or increase in salary or anything like that is what needs to change. It's operating on an old paradigm that is not ultimately going to serve you to the extent that you truly do deserve to earn or be promoted. So definitely check those out. I'll put the details in this description box. Of course, these meditations are available on my Etsy shop as well as shon.vibes.com. Okay, this is what I have for you today, Group 3. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Hello, Group 4, and welcome to your reading. Let me begin by saying I am going to do my best to consistently call you by your name, Group 4. However, I am so not used to doing 4 groups that if I happen to say Group 3 at some point during this reading, I ask in advance that you forgive me. I know in my right brain that you are my last group of this particular video that we're doing today, this pick a card. And so my brain associates last with 3 groups. So if I call you Group 3, please forgive me. Know that if that happens, and we're going to cross our fingers that it doesn't, each and every time I absolutely mean Group 4. So with that being said, hey y'all, what's up? We are taking a look at your earning, your money, your ability to earn. We're getting messages today from the Goddess Maat, who is an Egyptian goddess. She is actually the goddess of cosmic order, balance, truth, justice, and fairness. And we're going to get messages from her today about how you can get paid what you are worth. Let's jump right in. So we're using our Universal Weight Tarot to find out what it is Ma'at knows that you need to know in order to get paid in a way that feels good to you, given the quality of your work. All right, so Goddess Ma'at, what messages do you have for Group 4 regarding them getting paid what they're worth? This card really wants to come out. So we have 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, that's an auspicious start. It also indicates that many of you guys are already earning in a way that is reflective of goals that you previously had for earning. So you've already been very successful in matching your earning to specific goals you had. So it could have been like a 5-year goal that you had once you first got out of college, or a 10-year goal, 20-year goal. It could have been how much you wanted to make for the kind of work that you do. But somehow, some way, the amount of money that you are already making, or that you are currently making, I should say, is in alignment with what you had hoped for or dreamed of or planned for sometime in the past. Let's see what else we get from Ma'at around this topic. Group 4. This one feels like it wants to come. The Fool. Okay, so Actually, before I interpret Fool here, let me grab the third card. We're doing a 3-card spread on this topic today, you guys. The first being your current situation, the second being the obstacle, and the third being your advice. Okay, you guys are extremely experienced and extremely gifted at what you do. You've also had a lot of good fortune in your work. The good fortune is not just because you're lucky, though I am getting that many of you do have an energy of luck surrounding you or emanating through you. It could be simply because of the outlook that you have, the way you frame things, and therefore the way you experience life, including in the work environment. And then for some of you, that luck that you have had, or the good fortune and opportunities you've had, have been from preparedness, being someone who has been diligent in your training, your work ethic, your just showing up, not having a bunch of absentee days, being someone who shares openly in some way in the work environment, whether you speak up in meetings or whether you individually speak to people, sharing what insights you have around the kind of work you do. But in some way, you are very, very successful already in the work that you do. The obstacle is not wanting to let go of that reverence that comes from already being known for or knowledgeable in what you do. By this, I mean, there is an unwillingness to start something new or take a risk. And the start something new that I'm getting that you should do is not throw away what you have already accomplished, what you have already learned, and what you can already teach others if you should decide to. But rather take the next step and take these skills and this experience that you have from being just something that you do working for other people to having your own business, creating your own thing with these skills. So the creation of your own thing, it's very easy to say, or not easy to say, but it's top of mind, or the first read on that is around starting your own business. You now becoming the ultimate boss. You now shaping the way in which work gets done, what is offered, to whom it's offered, and how it's offered. That's the next step in the progression for a lot of you. For some of you, you may already be business owners, and it may be about expanding the business, taking it to multiple locations, or trying to grow your client base or your customer base, scaling up as it's called. So in some way, there is going to the next level that is the answer for you in earning more in alignment with what you are worth. But the fear of, and I did say the F word, I did say fear. Some of you might be resistant to that because you're very, very capable people. And the word fear might make you feel like it's a put down, and it's not. In fact, I just wrote an article on LinkedIn the other day about how fear does tend to show itself whenever we try something new, because whenever we are trying something new, we are a beginner. And if you're somebody who's super accomplished or has a habit of being able to be successful in any way at all, then starting something new is not necessarily an endeavor that we want to take on, because we like being important. We like knowing things. We like being knowing and feeling that we are capable in whatever we're doing. And when you start a new thing, or when you scale up, when you advance, you are now in new territory. And when we're in new territory, that's when fear comes up. And that's what I'm seeing here for you guys. There's a little bit of risk averseness. For some of you, it may also be about having concerns around upending your life, concerns around, if you decide to go and start your own business, or to grow the business that you already have, there is expense related to that. There is not just the financial expenses that come with it, but now the exertion of more energy, not being able to be as available to people and things that you love. So that could be your family, like the children, if you've got them, a spouse, a significant other, if you're not married, just your actual family, like your mom and sisters would be the case for me. If I was so family of origin, that's the word that's what I'm looking for. Or time with your friends, or doing hobbies or things that you just enjoy. For some of you, it could just simply be binge watching TV, and there wouldn't be the same time available for that. Not that you guys probably do a whole lot of the leisurely, because you are so successful, and I do have a sense that it is tied very much to your dedication to your work, and that dedication comes from a true love of what it is you do, or the industry you do it in, even if you're not in the specific job that you want. In fact, for some of you, this getting to the next pay level might be around, or yeah, shifting positions within the industry that you're working in. But for the majority of you, I'm getting that it is about going to that next level, primarily around either starting your own business or scaling up a business. And that is indicated here for me with this King of Wands in our advice position. The King of Wands is a master at manifesting things, a master at creating things, and not just things, but things that he is passionate about. And having such a clear focus on that. You know, it's so interesting. The most recent short, well, depending on when I actually upload this video, but at the time of my recording this video, the most recent short I put up was about taking action with focused intent. And it was a short that was messages from the goddess Diana. And here again, we have this theme about, or this idea of focus. You know, very, very strong focus. And you have had that. And this is one of the reasons why you are successful. And I feel that the level of focus you have had is because there is a true love for the kind of work you do, or the industry that you do your work in. And that love that you have really does keep you inspired. You may be someone who has been dedicated to continual learning within the field. And you're probably at a place now, group 4, where you can actually take that learning things that you've learned and teach it to other people. So for some of you, it could be, the message could be around not necessarily starting your own thing. I feel like that's primarily for people who are at the top of their food chain in the environment where they're already working. Okay. So for them, it is about starting their own business in this capacity, or if they've already got a business, scaling that business up, or adding, you know, in some way, whether it's adding new locations or adding, trying to find a way to get even more customers, further reach. But for some of you, it could be simply about having the gall to go after a promotion that would take you to the next level within the field. However, I don't feel like that's the majority of people who came to this particular pile. And that has to do with the fact that we started off with the current situation being this 9 of Pentacles. You guys are already at a place of very strong earnings. And it just so happens that what you are worth is even greater than what it is you are earning. Now, somebody might be going, I don't make enough money. I'm not earning. I don't have strong earnings. I don't know your life. I don't know your life, but let me tell you, there could be a couple of things at play there. All right. If that very strange Mr. Snuffleupagus-ish impression I just did, if that was you, there could be that you are earning very, very well for the industry in which you are in, but it may not be enough to accommodate the lifestyle that you would want. And for you, the message is even stronger to let yourself find ways to expand how you are doing this work that you're doing in order to bring in even more money for it. But yeah, there is a select few of you out there for whom it is that you are working in a field and not yet at the top of that financial food chain for it, or again, within the environment where you're working, not necessarily like you're in the top 1% of earners in the world. You know, I'm not calling you Jeff Bezos. I'm just saying that you're doing pretty well for what it is you do. And there is definitely strong potential here for you to earn even more, to get even more money. But there's a need here, group 4, not only to allow yourself to take the risk to start something new and to do it with an open heart, right? As well as that very intentional focus that you can bring to whatever endeavor you take on, but also to really, really allow yourself to enjoy the process and know that, yes, it will at times be uncomfortable, but it's because you are either growing into something new or you are birthing something new. And that is very, very, very natural. I'm going to try to remember to link the LinkedIn article that I wrote in this description box so that those of you who want to read it can. The title of the article is "It's Okay If You're Not Ready." It's literally about what the obstacle for you is. And then there's some, of course, insights into how you can begin to get ready without feeling the need to push yourself over the cliff, right? All right, group 4. I did it. I made it through your whole reading without calling you group 3. Group 4, these are your messages from Maat on how to get paid more fairly, because you are worth so much more. You're appreciated already, for sure. However, because of your dedication to growth and excellence in what you do, you can be getting even more. Like, speaking of growth and excellence and money and stuff, I have brand new Connect to Your Abundance meditations available in my Etsy shop. You should definitely check them out. They are a set of, I think it's like 104 different statements to help you really align with your state of abundance so that you can draw in more of what you want for your life. This is money as well as other things that feel like abundance for you, that are representative to you, that you are living the grapes and pentacles life. So shon.wilson.com/tarot is where you want to go to check that out. And I am currently running at the time of this recording, I should say, I am currently doing a spring offer where you receive 30% towards your purchases when you spend $20 or more. The meditations are not as high as $20, so you'd probably need to pick up a personal tarot reading at the same time, or you can get the meditation bundle if you want, and that would be $20. Okay, this totally turned into a sales thing. That was not my intention. I just wanted to let you know that those meditations are there and they can help you with shifting your mindset around what is possible for you as you start to contemplate whether or not, and the answer is you should. So it's a whether you go forward with growing how you offer what you do to the world. Okay, group 4. This is what I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.